All righty, let's get started. Let's get started with our practice. We'll be starting standing today. Now, Marla was supposed to be Zooming. She hasn't got on soon, so hopefully she got the link. So if you ever need to miss a class for some reason and you can't find a class that same week to make up for it, let me know. You can Zoom it. And so before your class, you should be getting a little bit email before your class saying reminder for your class. In that or in your initial confirmation, there's a Zoom link for that day's class. So if you can't make it, just click on the link. It'll Zoom you right to me right here and we can do it together. All right, so let's do some standing balance today. We'll come up towards the tops of our mats. If you guys can move if you need to, if you feel like you need a little bit more space because we're missing a few folks, totally up to you. All right. Let's start just by rocking back and forth on our feet and just starting to get in touch with how our ankles are feeling. Closing our eyes if we can. Noticing our balance today. And if it feels okay on our inhales now, reaching our arms up, lifting our heels, and then down. Inhale, reaching up. Exhaling down. Nice and slow. Inhale, 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 pause. Exhale, 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 pause. So just try to match it with your breath and then bring it down. Oh, closing your eyes might feel a little bit funny. All right, let's settle it into our mountain pose, pressing down into both of our feet now, opening up across our hearts, noticing the strength of our core. Relaxing our shoulders down from our ears, maybe closing our eyes and noticing our breath. Inhaling and exhaling, letting go of your morning. Just taking our right arm up towards the sun, pressing into our right foot. Exhale, bringing our hand back down. And then the other side, inhale, reaching. Exhale, bringing it down. Let's flow side to side with your lateral flexion. Each time we're reaching up, pressing the same side foot down. Starting to stretch. And now we'll start to bring the hand up in front of us and then up and down. Sweep up and down. A few more. We'll bring our hands back to our mountain, continue on with our warm-up. Inhale, reaching both arms up. Maybe the thumbs find each other at the top of our movement with our eyes open or closed. Take your time, and that helps us stay present here in the moment. Letting go of any competition this morning, any judgment or expectations. We've got about 4 more of those. Last one, let's hold our right hand up. Grab a hold of it with our left hand, a little bit of space for our wrist and tipping over to one side. Softening through our knees, our jaws. And release. Inhale, sweep all the way up, grab a hold of the other hand. We've got some space there. This is a nice wrist stretch because as we move it more throughout the practice, we'll be putting more pressure on our wrists. So we're stretching them beforehand. Awesome. And release. Let's take our left foot back and we'll be turning towards the windows. Starting to move through our moonflowers. Inhale, reaching up to the sky. Exhaling, bending our elbows, bending our knees, flowing at your own pace. We've got enough space between our feet here that our knees don't go in front of our toes. Our hips are sliding back. As we move through, making sure today to honor any injuries or limitations. We can stay here or turn this into a sunflower flow. That's just the same movement, but reach towards the mat. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, hinging and reaching towards the mat. Pressing into both of our feet. Continuing to bend our knees when we reach down. Even at home, good idea to bend your knees when you're reaching down for something on the ground. 4 or 5 more of these, connecting it to your breath, your inhaling and your exhaling. Oh, one of our people. Let's do one more. Step up to the tops of our mats. Are we waving to them? I'll go over, let them in. So let's start to flow through our airplane poses. So you'll do about 10 or 15 of those. And then that full forward fold. I'll go check and see if it's one of our people. Yeah, okay, I'll have a quick look. Amazing job, everyone. No one there. No one's at the door. We can start to move right into that full forward fold. Now about 10 of those. We've got some space between our feet. So if you ever are late, you'd have to try to go to one of the main entrances or shoot me a text. My number's on that door down there. Last one, hold it right down in your forward fold. A little bend in our knees. Let's shake our head no to any judgment today. Halfway lift. So we're coming about halfway up. Shoulders roll away from the ears. And we exhale again, fold. Few more. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, folding and relaxing. Last one. Wonderful. Let's bend our knees and take our left foot back. Rising up into our lunge on an inhale. So our option and modification for this one is to have your knee down on your mat today. You don't have to be in a full lunge. And we're going to flow that lunge a few times. So bending and straightening. If it feels okay, we've got that back heel high. Our hips are relatively facing towards the short edge of our mat. Wonderful. Press the hands in front of the feet. Step back to down dog or child's pose here. If you're choosing downward dog, pedaling our feet out a few times, pressing into both of our hands. Let's inhale to all fours. Coming to all fours, and then we'll move through our cat and cow. Exhaling cat. Inhaling into cow. Marla can't get on. No. Last one. Right back to our neutral spine. Let's find some space between our fingertips, making sure to even have some of our weight into our fingertips and to move through spinal balance. Right foot going back and your left arm reaching forward. Our core is strong, turning our toes towards the floor and reaching through our back heel towards the wall behind us. Exhale, release. And let's go through the other side. Here for a breath or two, and then we'll start to flow through. Exhale down, inhale up. Side to side, all on your own. Just going to send this link really quickly to Marla. You've got one more of those. And then you'll be taking it back to your child's pose or downward facing dog again. Staying here, noticing some breath. Hopefully she gets that. We'll come back to all fours on an inhale. Take your time. And making some hip circles. So we'll take our right hip out to a circle, bring it back to center, and then another circle on the other side. So a little figure eight. Just notice how your hips are feeling. We've got some space between our knees. So those knees are underneath our hips. And if you needed some more space, you could have more space between your knees. Depends on how your pelvic area is feeling today. Last one. And we'll take it back to child's pose, or again, you can modify, move up into downward dog. Letting go of any competition this morning. Looking up at our hands, we'll inhale into a full or kneeling plank. Exhale all the way to the belly or go halfway down. Moving into our up dog or our cobra. And you can go back to down dog or go back to your belly with me. Then press up and back to child's pose. Let's do it again. Inhale, coming forward, full or kneeling plank. Go all the way to your belly or halfway. Opening up into cobra on a breath in. Right back to your belly. Exhale. Now lifting our belly and chest and back to child's pose. You can flow on your own or stay with me. Full or kneeling plank. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lower to the belly. Breathe in, cobra. Reach the heart forward. Back to your belly. Breathe out. Then we press and lift everything up and back to child's pose. Wonderful. Looking up at our hands, we'll be bringing that left foot up between them. Rising up into a kneeling lunge or your full lunge. And actually, if we are in a kneeling lunge, we're going to make our way up to a full lunge. So you can frame the foot, bring it up so that we can flow our lunge on this side. Bending and straightening your leg. Your back kneecap's still nice and strong. And if it feels nice today, try to add the breath. Maybe let the eyes close. Last one. We'll be framing our front foot with our hands pushing to forward fold on an exhale. A little bit of space between our feet, a nice strong foundation to anchor to the earth. Halfway lift, breathing in. Folding, breathing out. Sweeping all the way up to the sky. And we'll bring our hands back behind us, opening up into chest expansion. Oh, stretching our biceps here. And if it feels nice for you, you can stay right where you are or turn that into a fold. For about 5, maybe 10 breaths. We'll release those hands, sweep everyone up to the sky, and bring our hands to our sides. Taking our right ear towards our right shoulder and pressing away with our left hand. And if you'd like to add a little more, you can use the weight of your hands to stretch your neck. Now, if that doesn't feel good, just let gravity do it for you. We're pushing away with our left and letting our right ear go towards our right shoulder. Chin comes up and we'll do the other side. Let the ear go towards the shoulder, press away. And you can add your hand to add a little more weight or no hand at all. And we'll bring that head up, tuck our chin towards our chest on an exhale. Beautifully done. Inhale, lift our head up, and let's move on to our sun salutation. So if you need to adjust anything, grab a drink if you're hot before we move on to that second portion of our class. I'm going to finish this jug today. My goal, that's my only goal today. That is my only goal, is to finish that jug. All right. Oh, I love this song. Just water. A little different than last night. All right, so let's move through. I love this song. All right, so through our sun salutations, we come up towards the tops of our mats. Find some space between our feet, roll the shoulders back. Find the strength of your core as well. So feel the muscles come in from all areas of the side and the back to support our spine. Big breath up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, breathing in. Folding again, breathing out. Bending our knees, taking our left foot back. Knee up or down. Inhale to lunge. Exhale to child's pose or downward facing dog. So right back to child's pose or downward dog. Staying here and resting or flowing together. Inhale forward to a fuller kneeling plank, halfway or all the way down. Up dog or cobra. Then we go back to our bellies. Then press the earth away, back to child's pose or downward facing dog. Gazing up between our hands to bring the left foot up between the hands. Rising up into your lunge, take your time and your big, beautiful inhale. And then exhale, forward fold. We'll push off our back foot, anchor to the forward foot. Halfway lift, breathe in, just halfway up. Then folding again. Sweeping up all the way to the sky now. Exhale, sitting into a chair pose. So the hips go back, the knees bend. Back up, breathing in. Exhaling to mountain pose. Amazing. Let's do that again. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, dive, fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Folding again, breathing out. Bending our knees, right foot back. Full or kneeling lunge. Inhale. Exhale to downward dog or child's pose. Take your time. Can rest here or we'll flow together. Inhaling into a plank. Exhaling halfway or all the way to your belly. Up dog or cobra. Amazing. Back to down dog or go to your belly first with me, then down dog. Bringing the right foot up between the hands. Take your time. You could always grab it behind the ankle and rise it up in front of your mat. And we rise up. And forward fold, breathing out. Halfway lift, breathing in. Folding, breathing out again. Sweeping all the way up. Exhale to chair pose. Back up, breathe in. Exhaling to mountain. So we've got a couple more. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, dive. Halfway lift, breathe in. Strong core. Exhale, fold. Head is heavy here. Bending the knees. Taking our left foot way back. Inhale into our lunge. Take your time. Exhaling to downward dog or child's pose, where you can rest and hold or we'll flow. Inhale to kneeling or full plank or resting. Halfway or all the way down. Up dog or cobra. Up dogs go to down dogs. Cobra, go back to your belly. Then come with me to downward facing dog. Looking up between our hands, the left foot sweeping up between them. Or maybe you grab it behind your heel and help it get up there. Rise up. And then folding, exhale. Maybe we close our eyes now. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep to sky. Exhale to chair. Inhale, back up. Exhale to our mountain pose. And we've got one more sun salutation. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, dive. Halfway lift. Fold again. Right foot lunging back. Fuller kneeling. Rise into lunge. Whoa. Exhale to downward dog or child's pose. Staying here, or let's flow. Inhale, fuller kneeling plank, halfway or all the way down. Our up dog or our cobra. Down dog or go back to your belly and then meet me in down dog. Bringing the right foot up between your hands. Take your time. Rising up, our back heels nice and high in our lunge. And exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Fold again. Sweep all the way up. Exhale to chair. Back up, breathe in. Exhale to mountain pose. Sun salutations, a couple extra rounds there. Hope that felt good. All right, so let's move on to our balance portion. The whole class this week, classes this week are standing balance. So let's get started. Let's take our right foot forward and flex it. So we notice that our hips or like the top of your ilium is facing slightly towards the short edge of your mat. Or the long round edge if you had mine. Okay, so we're hinging forward. Just taking that foot back. But our hips now are facing towards the mat a little bit. Bring it forward, trying not to touch down and through. Bringing it back, so we're warrior threes. If you want to extend your hands. And then bring it forward. This is our last one on this side. And we'll be taking that right foot all the way back into a lunge now. Our back heel is high. Wonderful. So we've got a nice strength here through that back right quadricep and your left knee is bending. We're working towards bringing that heel up off the mat at the back and sinking into our legs. Balance. So we can take our hands out for a little extra love. Let's lift up our chests right here. Maybe if it feels nice, we close the eyes as our arms reach up. Noticing a breath or two. Let's reach our hands back towards our back heel and look over our front toe, allowing our core to catch us from falling forward. So while our head is reaching forward, our hands are reaching back. Framing our front foot, let's step back to downward facing dog. You can take a rest here in down dog or child's pose, or we'll flow together. Inhale forward, plank, exhale halfway or all the way. Our up dog or cobra, reaching the chest through, back to the belly or down dog. Then we'll press up and take it back. Amazing, bringing the right foot up between the hands. Rising up into our lunge. And we'll get back to that lunge. Actually, we'll hold it here. Sinking into the support of your legs, pressing into both of our feet. So we've got enough space between our feet that our back heel most likely has no choice but to be up off the mat with our hips forward. And then we'll reach our hands back and look over the front of our front toe. We draw and find the strength of our core here. Breathe. Amazing. Stepping to extended mountain. So hands, feet are down, hands are up, extended mountain. So while we press into the feet, we're reaching up. And we'll do our little balance flow on the other side. So your left foot's reaching forward. Our hips are facing the short edge of our mat or up towards me, and then we hinge. And the hips start to face the floor. So do the toes. Bring it forward. Trying to lift us a little bit higher on that one. Whoa, whoa, all the way back. And forward. Extended mountain again, hands come up. And let's sit into our chair pose. So for today, we've got some space between our feet and our chair pose. We're turning it into some fun balance as well as a strengthener for our quads and our glutes. So our hearts are up, facing up towards me. And then we can work towards lifting our left heel or our whole foot to make it more balancy. Balancy, is that a word? Maybe. I just created it. Yeah. Bring the other foot down, other one. Oh, I make up all kinds of words in this class. Straighten it out, big breath. Exhale, hands come into mountain pose again. So let's take our right foot towards the top of our mat and lunge our left foot back. This time the difference being that we're putting that left heel down on the mat in this sort of position. So your right toes are most likely facing up towards the front edge of your mat. And then your left toes are facing the long edge of your mat. For triangle, let's open up our wings like you want to give someone a big hug. Make sure there's a little bend in this knee so it's not locked. It's got some muscle strength there. You pop out our hip a little and then reach with our right hand forward towards me in front of your right knee and then hinge down. There we go. Pressing into both of our feet. So if you're taking care of your shoulder today, tuck that back hand behind you. You don't have to keep it up. Our chests are looking towards the front window. And of course, it wouldn't be a balance class without balancing half moon. The weight goes onto the front foot and we lift the back foot, but still keep our chest open. This is where that block can really come in handy. Breathe. Oh boy. Step that left foot back into goddess pose. We bend the knees. Breathe. Let's bring our hands out in front of us. Hips are shifting back. We're noticing our toes touching the mat, our heels touching the mat. Straightening out our legs, we'll tick-tock them back together up towards the tops of our mats. And then step your right foot back. That heel will go down and we open up towards the long wall. Your left toes pointing up towards the top edge of your mat and your right toes pointing towards the wall or the long edge of your mat. Reaching forward with our left hand and then hinging down towards your calf with that left hand. So towards your left calf and opening up the chest towards the wall. Breathe. We should feel this pose down the back of the front leg, so the back of your left leg up into your glutes. You can stay here if you love triangle or move into balancing half moon. The weight will come onto the front foot. You lift the back and move into our balancing half moon here. Breathe. The core is helping you, the strength of your legs. Your back foot can be down if it feels better that way. Forward fold, exhale. Let the head be heavy. We'll be stepping back to downward facing dog or all fours. Holding here, my friends, or we'll flow together. Inhale, full or kneeling plank. Exhale halfway or all the way to your belly. Moving into up dog or cobra. Back to your bellies or down dog. And then we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. Looking up between our hands, we'll be walking our feet towards our hands for forward fold. Halfway lift, breathing in. Folding, breathing out. Sweeping all the way up, inhale. Wonderful, exhaling into mountain. Let's do a couple more balance poses before we hit the mat. Taking our right foot forward. Flexing that foot and bringing it up above the knee and out to the side. Bending our left knee into our pigeon pose. So some modifications for this one would be to have your foot on the floor with the block. Also, you could be reaching your arms long or bringing them out more for balance. But we keep that right foot flexed and strong, protecting our knee. So if you want to increase it, you deepen the bend in your left knee. Breathe. Let's rise up and turn it into tree pose. So the sole of that right foot now comes onto the inside of your calf, or it stays on the floor. Got our hip open, and we can reach up towards the branches. The branches reach towards the sun. Rooting down into that foot. You can even picture roots growing down into your mat, into the floor, into the earth. Ain't nothing. Stretch our hip in the other direction now. The knee comes forward and we grab it with the hand, a little stretch over. So if you'd like to add a little more balance, you look down your right hand. And let's release. Whoo, standing balance. Big breath up. Reset into our mountain pose, and we'll be flexing our left foot. Bringing it, bending it, and bringing it across to the outside of the leg. And then hinging back into our pigeon on this side. So we want to take care of that right knee. And although it might be hard, take a look down and make sure you can see your big toes. We don't want that right knee to be in front of our toes. It needs to be back. So hands at heart or out for balance. Or we can reach them long. But make sure the core is really strong here. We'll straighten out our leg, bring our right foot to the inside of our calf, or down onto the mat, or up above our knee. So we'll be careful with our knee, and I just say that because our knees are meant to go forward and back. So we don't want to put pressure on the side of them to push them that way. So above or below it. Breathe. Let's bring it around, grab it with the other hand, look down the left hand. Awesome job, and release. Happy hips. Okay, maybe it was a hip day and balance day. Big breath. Exhale, dive it to fold. Halfway lift, breathing in. Folding, breathing out. Stepping to all fours. Take your time getting there. Wonderful. So we'll be taking our right arm forward on all fours, so down on our knees and our hands, and reaching our left foot back. Wonderful. Taking our right hand now back, putting the thumb towards the floor so it opens up the shoulder, bending your left knee, just reaching towards that left foot. Maybe you touch it, maybe you don't. Reach it forward again. And we'll try it again. Reach it back for the foot. Maybe you get there, maybe you don't. That's no big deal. We're strengthening our hamstring just by reaching back for it. There we go. And on this next one, you can continue to flow or you reach back and grab that foot. Stretching our quadricep, and let's do the other side. Whew. Let's make sure we breathe, we reach forward. So bending and reaching at first. And this could be enough for you today, because now we're having to balance here on all fours as well. So you can stay with that or reach back. So if you do reach back, try to bring your hand more towards the center of your body. So it would be on the outside of your foot. And let's release to child's pose. Take a nice big breath out, lots of space. If you want a wide legs child's pose, we could rest our head on on the mat or our fists or a block. And like the song says, don't forget to breathe. Making our way to a forearm plank. So we shift our weight here into the forearms, full or kneeling. So your knees could be down or they could be up in your forearm plank. Bringing our hips for the plank about shoulder height. Breathe. Or our knees are down. Let's all drop our knees down and clasp our hands together. Got a fun dolphin pose for us today. Fun for me. Okay, bring your bottom pinky, whichever one's on the bottom, tuck it into your hand. So maybe if it was taking quite a bit of weight, then you just tuck it in. So dolphin pose can be where you are right now. You just walk the knees in a little bit further and you let the head hang between the hands, pressing the floor away. Or you lift the hips. So it's downward dog on your forearms and you walk those feet up towards your elbows. So down on your knees or up on your toes. Whichever one we choose today, we have no weight on our head. So we're pressing into those forearms to strengthen our shoulder girdle. We're letting the head be heavy here. We're stretching the backs of our legs. We're honoring our body in the moment, listening to it when it asks to rest. Let's take it back to child's pose or downward facing dog. You can take your hands apart now. It might feel nice to reach your hands towards your heels. Beautiful. Let's bring our hands forward. We'll shift the weight until we come to all fours and then move on to one hip. We're making our way into a boat pose and we're going to do wide boat because it's fun and because we need a little more balance for that one. So our regular boat, we've got some space between our knees, our feet, and then we shift back. It can be here, or you can hold onto your knees for a little more steadiness. Let's feel the space across our collarbone. So there's a little bit of tension between our shoulder blades. You can stay here or lift. And if we're working towards that lift, you can start by just having your feet on the mat and working one foot up at a time. We still stay expansive across our hearts. We're reaching and lengthening our necks. Breathe. Moving into our butterfly, we'll take the soles of the feet together and bring it down onto the mat. We have one more boat after that, but let's enjoy our butterfly pose today. Lifting up and lengthening through the crown. Think of stacking our vertebrae on top of each other. Breathe. So we could use just gravity here to let our legs relax. If you wanted to use your muscle strength, you'll draw your knees towards the mat. So strengthening the backs of our legs as we pull the knees towards the mat. And then lengthening up through our necks and our shoulders. Starts to snow. A few more breaths. Softening our jaws, closing our eyes if possible, and finding our body. So butterfly, we can stay here, or we'll move into wide boat. We'll take our peace fingers onto our big toes. Make sure if you're going to roll back, you're not going to hit anything. And we lean back, find balance, right? It's all about balance today. And you can stay with that, or we'll move into our wide boat when we reach our legs long. This is why we want to make sure there's nothing back there behind us so that we have mat to roll back on. And then we release, bring it back down. Take the feet out just slightly, so more of a diamond shape here, and we'll hinge forward for a stretch. Let's walk those hands back up, nice strong core. Or better, make our way onto our backs. Let's draw the knees together. Actually, we'll do a twist first, extending our left leg long, drawing that right knee in. All right, so you can keep that foot on the mat here or bring it across. Whatever feels nice for you, keeps you in alignment. And then your other hand will reach towards the knee, and we turn our chest towards the inside of that leg. Or we bring our elbow to the outside of the leg and open up our palm. Looking back over our back shoulder if our neck feels okay that way. Breathe. Chin comes around, our chest comes around, and we'll do our twist on the other side. So we'll help that knee in and bring it either to the inside or the outside. Lengthen up again. And then choose what feels right for you. We'll turn our your right toes up towards the sun. And arm or elbow can come towards that knee. And we're looking over our back shoulder if it feels okay there. Chin around, our chest around. We'll unravel that spine and roll back onto our back. So just making sure that you have some space behind you to roll back. We're drawing our knees into our chest and taking a rock side to sides. Moving into our legs up a wall, and I've got a little treat for your legs up a wall today. So our legs reach up without a wall, of course, at first. Just reaching through our heels. So if this isn't very restful for you, I would recommend bending your knees, of course. All right. And our fun treat for our brains today, now we extend our hands as well up towards the sun. Relax our wrists. We had a lot of pressure on our wrists today. We can stay in this relaxing pose or add on a little bit of an ab workout as well as a brain workout. We'll let our left foot go down towards the mat and our right hands reach up above our head towards the mat behind us. And we're keeping the other appendages up towards the ceiling. So your left hand is still reaching up and your right foot is still reaching up. Then we'll bring it back. So all fours reaching, and then the other two, your right foot and your left hand. And we keep the other hand and foot up towards the sky. And we bring it back. So all four are reaching. And now we work towards flowing with our breath. Inhaling, opposite hand, opposite foot, reach. Bring it back on the exhale. You might get into a good flow and then it might stop, it might keep going. That's okay. If you're like me, sometimes I have to actually look at my hand and will it to move. So not only are we working our core, we're getting the brain a little love. All right, let's bring our knees back into our chest. Take a rock side to side. Massage our back. Let our core kind of come back a little bit from that big stretch and strengthen. Placing the soles of our feet down on the mat about a foot or two from our back sides. They're not super close. They're a little bit further away so that we can lift up our spine off the mat and open up into bridge. If you'd like to make this more restful, you'll take a bolster or block underneath your sacrum or your lower back and rest here instead. We're there for about 15 breaths. Keeping our knees on top of our heels. It's like we're almost, imagine squeezing a ball to keep those knees from moving out to the sides too much. Slowly lowering it back down. Let's bring just our left knee into our chest and extend our left leg long down our mat. Softening our jaws, letting our eyes close. Let's make some circles with our our left ankle. And then relaxing, drawing that left knee back towards the chest. Our right leg is just resting on the mat. If your lower back lifts and doesn't feel nice here, bend your right knee and put the foot on the floor instead. Drawing our left knee across the body with our right hand. So we draw it across for a twist, but we anchor our shoulder blades, so our back shoulder blades down into the mat. Our chest is looking up towards the sky. Moving into our spinal twist here. It can feel good to put a block or a bolster underneath that knee. That feels better. Breathe. We'll come back to place the low back on the mat, extend the opposite foot. So extending that left leg most likely, drawing the right knee into chest, and making some small movements with our right ankle. One way and then moving the other. And then letting that ankle be free. Drawing that knee across your body with your opposite hand. You might move right over onto the side of your hip to square your hips. And then the chest turns towards the ceiling. And we can close our eyes here, focusing more on the chest opening. Feel a nice gentle stretch. Finally, bringing those knees back into our chest. We'll take another rock side to side. And then we'll be settling into our Shavasana, where there's a few options for that. Our final relaxation. You could put a bolster or block underneath your knees, or you can lie flat on your back. If you're taking care of your back, you may want to bend your knees, walk your feet out to the edges of your mat, and then let the knees drop back towards each other. So create a little space in your back. If anyone would care for an eye cover to block out the sun and relax you, I'll bring you one now. Just put your hands up. 1, 2, 3, wonderful. Okay, just gonna grab a couple more. I'll be right back. You're welcome. Just in case. There you go. Take your time. Just in case. So we're starting to breathe, to let go of our morning and bring that awareness and the kind, compassionate thoughts in towards yourself. Noticing where the back of your body is making connection with the earth. Backs of your legs. The back of your body, the spine. Relaxing in a safe position here where you can let the tension go from your hips, from your back, your upper back, your shoulder blades melt down. We feel our collarbones widening as our chest relaxes. Our jaw, even our nostrils relaxing towards our cheeks. Feeling and noticing the smoothness of our foreheads, our cheeks. Staying here present in the breath for the next few moments. Just before we start to come out of our relaxation, I'll read to you from Embers, a wonderful book of meditations. Can you think of a better way to live than in gratitude? Can you think of a better way to be than to be kind, loving, compassionate, respectful, courageous, truthful, and forgiving? Even if we're wrong, can you think of a better way to breathe than through all of that? I couldn't, I can't, and I continue. So we'll start to waken up our small joints of our hands and our toes, our ankles and our wrists. Moving our neck side to side, letting our neck know it's time to get ready for the rest of the day. Maybe stretching from our fingertips right to our toes, so reaching long above the head, and then our toes reaching in the opposite direction. Maybe. And then we'll roll over onto one side. Take your time to get there. Meeting in our easy seated position. Take your time. Moving up. Breathing in some gratitude today as we inhale. Exhaling out some respect, just like our little meditation. One more big breath in, some gratitude just for that breath. Exhale, bring our hands to our heart. Thank you for coming to our practice today. Namaste. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, wherever it may take you. And I'll see you next week. Yeah, Marla didn't make it on, but Marla, I'm posting it on YouTube for you, okay?